In 2019, all the national media want to talk about is that the only reason the Bills were winning is because we didn't play anybody. Well, we're not going to have that problem in 2020. Welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this Buffalo Bills 2020 Opponent Outlook edition of Billievers Talk, where we take a look at the Buffalo Bills schedule for the 2020 season, or at least the teams they will play. That's right. Here we are, January of 2020. We already know the teams that the Buffalo Bills will play in the 2020 NFL season. Before we get into that, however, I want to remind everyone, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, guys, hit that subscribe button, as we constantly have you covered on all Buffalo Bills news and Buffalo sports news. So you want to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. After you hit that subscribe button, you want to hit that notification bell. Notifies you when we put out new Buffalo sports content. While you're at it, guys, hit that thumbs up like button, like this video, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the 2020 Buffalo Bills opponents outlook, the teams that will play in 2020. Now, we don't know the schedule yet, right? We don't know when these teams will play each other. That comes out in late April, early May, depending on when the NFL has that ready. But we do know the teams that we will be playing in the 2020 NFL season. So again, we're going to get into those teams. We're going to talk about where the Buffalo Bills sit in strength of schedule compared to other teams in the NFL. As I said in the intro, the national media this past season was talking about how easy the Bills schedule was. We're not going to have that problem this coming up season, as the Buffalo Bills have one of the tougher strength of schedules going into the 2020 NFL season. Before we get into any of that, though, I know there are probably a few of you out there who are asking yourselves, how exactly does the NFL schedule work? How is it January of 2020 and we already know who we're going to be playing in September, October, November, and December? So I want to break that down for you a little bit, and I'm going to use our Buffalo Bills as the example. So you want to follow me and listen to this as the Buffalo Bills, right? So if you are the Buffalo Bills, well, let's start with the NFL overall. So the NFL has 8 divisions, right? We have 2 conferences, the NFC and AFC, and we have 8 divisions, 4 in each conference, okay? You have the AFC and NFC North, you have the AFC and NFC East, you have the AFC and NFC South, you have the AFC and NFC West, okay? So 4 divisions in each conference. So basically the way it works is on a rotational basis, right? So let's take the Buffalo Bills, for example. The Buffalo Bills play in the AFC East, okay? So the easiest part of our schedule is we know that we play each divisional team twice. So if we are one of the 4 teams, obviously that means there are 3 teams left in our division. We have the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Patriots. We play them at home once and we play them away once. So it's 6 games. So how does the NFL figure out the other 10 games in an NFL season? And like I said, that works on a rotational basis. So if you take out the AFC East, because that's the division the Bills play in, there are 3 more divisions in the AFC. There's the AFC North, the AFC South, and the AFC West. So in 2019, for example, the Buffalo Bills played up against the AFC North, right? We played the Baltimore Ravens, we played the Pittsburgh Steelers, we played the Cincinnati Bengals, and we played the Cleveland Browns. Next season, in 2020, we play up against the AFC West. So that means we're going to go up against the now Las Vegas Raiders, we'll go up against the Los Angeles Chargers, we'll go up against the Kansas City Chiefs, and we'll go up against the Denver Broncos, okay? And then the following season, we'll go up against the AFC South, the Houston Texans, Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans, and the Indianapolis Colts. And then it's going to rotate, and then we'll go back to playing the AFC North, just like we did in 2019. So 2019 is the North, 2020 is the West, 2021 is the South, 2022 would be the North again, and so on and so on and so on, as far as the NFL is concerned, as long as they keep this type of schedule going. Now, we know that they're talking about an international team. We know that they're talking about maybe mixing up the divisions a little bit, so that might change how the schedule looks, but this time, that's how the schedule is run. We run it on a rotational basis. Same thing with the NFC, except for in the NFC, you play all 4 divisions one time a year, right? So you play, like, for example, the Buffalo Bills. This past season, we played the NFC East. So we played the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Giants and the Redskins, right? Next season, we go up against the NFC West, which means we'll go up against the San Francisco 49ers, we'll go up against the LA Rams, we'll go up against the Seattle Seahawks, and we'll go up against the Arizona Cardinals. That's just the way the schedule works. Then the following year, we're going to go up against the NFC South, and then the NFC North, or that might be reversed. NFC North, then NFC South, then it goes back to the NFC East. It's constantly on a rotating basis. So technically, if we knew that the divisions would always stay the same, and that the schedule, the way it is now, would always stay the same, I could tell you for infinity how 14 of the 16 Buffalo Bills games coming up the following season and seasons after that. In fact, I believe there are websites that actually do that. So how do they figure out the final 2 games of a season? We have 6 games in the division. We have 4 games against the AFC division. We have 4 games against the NFC division. That gives us 14 games. The other 2 games, and again, we're looking at the Buffalo Bills as an example, are against teams in your conference that finished in the same place in the standings in their division. So for example, there would be 2 AFC divisions left, right? We play against the AFC West, so we play every team in the AFC West. There's 2 more divisions left, the AFC North and the AFC South. Okay, so the Bills finished second in 2019. That means we're going to play every AFC team that finished second in their division. That includes in the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans, and the AFC North, that includes the Pittsburgh Steelers. So now when you look at the schedule, that completes our 16-game schedule. So that's why a lot of times you always see teams like when Peyton Manning was on the Colts, you always saw Tom Brady and the Patriots play the Colts because they always finished first in the division. Same thing with some other great rivalries that you see. If you finish first in the division every year, that means you're going to go up against each other every single season under this scheduling format in the NFL. So again, as long as the scheduling format stays the same, then we could tell you for pretty much eternity what the Buffalo Bills schedule is going to look like, minus 2 teams, just because we don't know how the division is going to finalize at the end of a season, right? Right now, we know who finished second in the AFC South and AFC North at the end of 2019 because the regular season was over weeks ago. So that's how we figure out who the opponents are for the upcoming season. If that made sense, leave a comment. If you're still confused, leave a comment and I will happily try to explain it better. But that is how an NFL schedule works. That's how the NFL determines who a team will play the following season. So for the Buffalo Bills, that means we play the Kansas City Chiefs, LA Chargers, LA Rams, Seattle Seahawks, Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, New York Jets, Las Vegas Raiders, Denver Broncos, Arizona Cardinals, San Francisco 49ers, Tennessee Titans, Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, and New York Jets. I broke it down that way because those are the home and away games. We already know who's going to be home and away. Well, how do we know that? It alternates. It alternates every 3 years in the AFC, 4 years in the 3 years in the AFC, 4 years in the NFC. So, for example, this year we played the Philadelphia Eagles in Buffalo, right? This past season, 2019, we played the Philadelphia Eagles in Buffalo. In 4 years, in 2023, we're going to play the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. And it's going to keep alternating like that. And that's how it works for every AFC, every NFC team, unless they finish second in the division, unless they finish in the same place in their division. That has another way of alternating. You can definitely look that up on NFL.com. Just Google it, how those get figured out. But that's how the NFL figures those out. So I'll go through this again. The Buffalo Bills home schedule in 2020 is we're home against Kansas City, we're home against the LA Chargers, we're home against the LA Rams, we're home against the Seattle Seahawks, we're home against the Steelers, we're home against the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Patriots. That never changes because we always have one game at home, one game away against our division. Now, for the away side, again, we play the Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots on the road. We also play the Las Vegas Raiders. So if you want to go to Vegas and check out that new stadium, you'll be able to do that. You have the Denver Broncos on the road, going to Denver, going to Arizona, going to San Fran, going to Tennessee. So when you look at the opponents for the 2020 Buffalo Bills, it really looks like a daunting schedule. Again, one of the toughest strength of schedules in the NFL heading into next season. In fact, the overall record of our opponents next season, as far as their 2019 record, is 134, 121, and 1 for a 52.5% winning percentage. So that's a lot different than the 48% opponent winning percentage that we played at the beginning of the 2019 season. So as the the national media was talking about how the Bills didn't play anyone last season, I mean, you look at the current schedule coming up, we're playing both of the teams that represent the AFC in the AFC Championship game. We're playing one of the teams that represent the NFC in the NFC Championship game. It's going to be a pretty tough schedule. At least that's how it looks right now, January of 2020. Now, obviously, when the schedule comes out, it matters when these games happen, right? Will we have 3 games in a row at home again? Do we have a West Coast trip where we can stay out west and play both teams at the same, back-to-back weeks, or do we have to make consecutive trips out west? All these things matter. If you look at the 2019 Buffalo Bills schedule, you realize that the only time we had to travel outside the time zone, the Eastern time zone, was when we played the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Other than that, really little travel. I think we were the 3rd least traveled team in the NFL in 2019. Well, that's going to be the complete opposite in 2020. You have to go out west to play the San Francisco 49ers. You have to go out west to play the Arizona Cardinals. You have to go out west to play the Denver Broncos. You have to go out west to play the Las Vegas Raiders. There's a lot of travel in our schedule next season, and that matters when it comes to teams' durability, staying healthy, things like that. Traveling matters. And so this year we were fortunate, in 2019, we were fortunate enough not to have to face that big travel bug. 2020, unfortunately, it hits us big, and we have to travel a lot, and that might come into effect when the schedule gets going. And so for everyone saying, oh, this Buffalo Bills schedule is strong, it's going to be hard, how are we going to continue to win if we play the schedule? Well, if you look at the strength of schedule, I'm not sure if anyone came out with the strength of the schedule yet, so I did actually do a little bit of research, and I tried to find it, and I did a little bit of work myself, and I looked at the 2020 NFL strength of schedule for every single 2020 NFL team. And out of the 4 teams in the AFC East, I'm talking about the Patriots, the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bills. And the Bills have the 5th hardest strength of schedule. They actually have the easiest in our division. The Patriots have the hardest strength of schedule. Their opponent winning percentage for 2020 is 53.7%. The Jets are second, 53.3%. The Dolphins are third, 52.9%. The 49ers are fourth at 52.7%. And the Buffalo Bills sit there tied at 5th at 52.5%. with the Detroit Lions. Now, I try not to look too much into these numbers. Me personally, I know that there's a lot that can happen between 2019 end of regular season and 2020 start of regular season. So much can happen that can change these teams mightily. Patrick Mahomes might get injured. I hope it doesn't happen. Patrick Mahomes might get injured. Well, then that Kansas City game isn't looking so tough. Do the New England Patriots still have Tom Brady, or did they get a younger quarterback? Did they draft a quarterback? What happened? More than likely they're going to keep Tom Brady, right? But if they don't, that changes the Patriots, how we view the Patriots, right? Will the LA Chargers still have Philip Rivers? You know, all these things can change, and there's minor changes that can happen in there too. We know that for the LA Chargers, for example, we know that Gordon was unhappy with his contract, held out. Will he still be a Charger next season? What's going to happen in the offseason that can change the complexion of everything in the NFL and how we view the Buffalo Bills 2020 schedule? So I try not to look too much into strength of schedule this early in the season or in the 2020 year. And just to kind of bring home that point, I look back at the beginning of the 2019 season at the strength of schedules, and I said, who had the toughest strength of schedules? I looked at the top 5, and out of the top 5, 2 of those teams made the playoffs, the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, the Chiefs, one of the AFC representatives in the AFC Championship game. So they can make it even though they had a tough schedule. You go back to 2018, 3 out of 6 teams, top 6 teams in the strength of schedule made the playoffs that season. I think it was the Cowboys, Seahawks, and maybe the Saints. I'm not sure. But 3 teams made the playoffs out of the top. So just because you have a tough schedule going into a season doesn't seal your fate. And when you talk about winning in the NFL, it starts with winning your division. And well, the Bills have a leg up then, right? If this holds true, the Bills have the easiest strength of schedule in our division. So it doesn't matter if you win your division with an 8-8 record or a 13-3 record. You win your division, you get a home playoff game. And we're watching the Tennessee Titans as a 6th seed make it to the AFC Championship game, there's no reason to think that if you win your division as a 3 seed or a 4 seed, that you can't make that same type of run. In fact, playing tougher teams leading into the playoffs might help you when you get into the playoffs, playing those tough teams. Again, national media said the Bills didn't play anyone tough. How are they going to respond in the playoffs? Well, how do we respond in the playoffs? We lost in the first round to the Houston Texans, a Houston Texans team that had a hard strength of schedule going into this season and beat us by 3 points, overcame a 16-point deficit in the third quarter. So there may be some truth to playing tougher teams in the regular season that might help us along in the postseason, and that's something that we have to look at. So again, you look at the Buffalo Bills opponents for the 2020 season. I'll go through them one more time. You have at home in Buffalo, you play the Kansas City Chiefs, LA Chargers, LA Rams, Seattle Seahawks, Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, and the New York, New Jersey Jets. We went 4-4 at home in 2019. I want to do better than that. We should all want the Buffalo Bills to do better at home than 4-4 this coming 2020 season. I know the Chiefs are going to be tough. I know the Rams are going to be tough. I know the Seahawks are going to be tough. But if you remember 4 years ago when we played the Seahawks, we still owe them a little bit. If you remember Sherman hitting our kicker after the whistle, no penalty. I believe that we had Carpenter at the time, and then we missed a kick, and then he interfered with Robert Woods in the end zone, last play of the game. No call there, of course. So I hold grudges, guys. I hold grudges. I remember these things. But those are the home teams that we play. You look at the away schedule, we have to go to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. Again, you're a gambling person like I am. You might look at that and say, that would be a fun week. That would be a fun week to go down, watch the Buffalo Bills play, hopefully win a little bit of money, have some drinks, have a good time on the Strip, go to Las Vegas, watch the Bills win. It's a possibility. Then you go to Denver. That might be a tough game. Denver's always tough at home. Go to the Arizona Cardinals. Go to the San Francisco 49ers. That's going to be a tough one. Go to the Tennessee Titans. Then you have your division games on the road. Dolphins, Patriots, and the New York, New Jersey Jets. So those are 2020 opponents. I look at the schedule and I want to ask you guys, and again, leave me a comment in the comment section. How many primetime games do you think the Bills will get this year? Remember, we had one of the highest watched Thanksgiving Day games ever of all time. We had one of the highest watched Sunday Night Football games in a long time when we played the Steelers. And we had the highest rated ESPN covered wild card football game since ESPN and ABC have been doing wild card weekend. We had the highest rated game. So I'm pretty sure the NFL takes notice of that, and I'm pretty sure that means that the NFL is going to give us some primetime games. Tell me which ones you think are going to be the primetime games. Do you think the San Fran game will be a primetime game? We know Chris Berman would love that, right? Chris Berman always picked in the 90s for the Bills to go up against the 49ers in the Super Bowl. Never happened, so unfortunately he was a little disappointed, but you know he would watch that primetime game. Do you think maybe we play the Seattle Seahawks in a primetime game? Last time we played the Seahawks was a Monday night football game. Will they put us on Monday night again? I think the Buffalo Bills are beginning to get that attention, and now in 2020 we need to prove that we did not only deserve that attention, that we can win in those primetime atmosphere type games. Continue to win. Maybe Bills Mafia will get a Bills home Sunday night game for the first time since 2007. Would be spectacular. Would be a fun thing to watch. So again, guys, that's how the schedule works. That's the current 2020 Buffalo Bills list of opponents. Again, the schedule won't come out until late April, early May, but you better believe at that time we will be keeping you up to date right here on Billievers Talk. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and again, leave a comment. How many primetime games do you think the Bills will get? What do you think about this 2020 opponent list? I think it looks pretty tough, but it's still way too early to tell what a lot of these teams will look like entering the 2020 NFL season. I think the Bills still have a great shot to win the AFC East. Again, few expectations in 2019, a lot of expectations heading into the 2020, Josh Allen's third season, that 2020 NFL season. Again, thank you guys for joining me on Billievers Talk. Billievers Talk teaming up with BewareTheStampede.com. Make sure you go to BewareTheStampede.com for all your Buffalo Bills news. Jeremy has started a podcast over there, so make sure you check that out as well. A great listen. Again, thank you for joining me on Billievers Talk. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.